Funeral plans are being made for band leader Lawrence Welk. The maestro of champagne music died Sunday night at his home in Santa Monica, California. He had pneumonia. Welk, who was 89, led his orchestra with the famous line, "A 1 and a 2." He was a TV favorite for 30 years. Thanks to a break in a ferocious storm, a helicopter managed to rescue 3 climbers from Alaska's Mount McKinley. The South Korean climbers were trapped by snow and high winds on North America's highest peak. They survived for a week without water, food, or fuel. 3 other climbers on Mount McKinley died over the weekend. The rescued climbers are hospitalized in good condition in Anchorage. At least 21 demonstrators have been killed and thousands have been arrested after another round of violence in the city of Bangkok. Brian Barron reports from Thailand's capital, the city still under a state of emergency.
1 hour before dawn broke, the army's threat of severe measures proved amply justified. Most of the action took place round the Royal Hotel, which the democracy movement had turned into a makeshift headquarters and hospital. It was here that the army came with a vengeance. Soldiers are fed up with being abused by democracy activists and being told by ordinary citizens what they're doing is wrong. Rough treatment was meted out to many as soldiers searched for democracy leaders in every corridor. We snatched these pictures of the aftermath of the hotel raid. Up to 500 democracy activists, possibly with hooligans among them, trussed like chickens, their hands bound by the shirts from their backs. They're being held in the hotel forecourt. On the edge of the closed zone, the public mood is one of anger and exhaustion. They carry pictures of the king and queen, whom all Thais revere as a sign of their loyalty. For NBC News, this is Brian Barron in Bangkok.
Back in this country, the incoming police chief of Los Angeles made a campaign-style tour of the city on Monday. Willie Williams promised to restore public confidence in the controversial LAPD. Williams was the top man with the Philadelphia force. He will replace Daryl Gates, who leaves next month after 14 years. We'll have more news, Joe Whitty's weather, and the day in business after this.
Yeah, how far away do you think I can get in 72 hours?
I wouldn't trust my car past the city limits.
For the way you travel today more than ever, the smart money is on budget. Now at Budget, get a Lincoln or minivan with unlimited mileage for just $199 per week. The smart money is on budget.
Send a hug from far away, brighten up a rainy day. Flowers say what words can't say. It's as easy as FTD.
Whatever you need to say, your FTD florist can send the right bouquet. And remember,
It's as easy as FTD.
Mary Brody won't feel the tiny lump in her breast for another 2 years. But she'll discover it tomorrow after her first mammogram, thanks in part to a new X-ray film created by DuPont that makes it safer to start mammography early. And for Mary, early detection means a 2-year head start on the rest of her life. At DuPont, we make the things that make a difference.
Stock prices rallied yesterday. The Dow Jones Industrials gained nearly 23 points. Looking ahead to today's market day, here's the Wall Street Journal's Connie Mitchell. Good morning, Connie.
Good morning.
The Federal Reserve meets today, and a lot of people are wondering whether or not it will cut interest rates even further. The market certainly will be watching.
That's right. And there certainly are a lot of people who are hoping that the Fed does reduce interest rates. But many of the analysts we talk to don't feel that an interest rate cut at this time will stimulate the financial markets very much. Maybe prices will move a little higher, but they're saying it may not help very much. The reason is that In the case of the stock market, stock prices have already risen so much in anticipation of a rate cut that they're saying a further rate cut may not help. In the case of the bond market, of course, they note that the previous 2 times the Federal Reserve reduced short-term interest rates, bond prices actually responded positively initially, but in the days afterwards, bond prices actually declined, and long-term interest rates, which the Fed cannot control, actually rose. They didn't decline. So some people are saying it may just be best if nothing happens right now and just let long-term interest rates in the bond market drift lower on their own.
We'll see what happens. Thank you so much, Connie Mitchell. Time now for a look at today's weather with Joe Whitty. Joe.
Good morning, Ann. Yes, indeed, a wide range of temperatures today. Jack Frost making a late visit way up north in Vermont and the Mohawk Valley of New York. Meanwhile, by the afternoon, we'll have some record-high summer-like 90s in Montana, North and South Dakota. And a flow of moisture will bring some showers and thunderstorms to portions of New Mexico, Arizona, and Utah, and also more rains for Texas, where they do not need any rains. Over the weekend, they've had some places with more than 10 inches of rain. That rain pattern will arc to the mid-Atlantic states of Virginia and North Carolina. Florida looks to be in pretty good shape, except for southern Florida. Temperature-wise, the hot 90s going all the way up through the northern plain states, 90s in Southern California, and 70s for the Northeast. That's a quick look at the national weather. Now here's what's happening in your neighborhood. For Denver, you'll see a high close to 87 degrees today. Los Angeles, 74 with some morning low clouds. 65, cooling trend for Seattle, Washington. 85 degrees with some rain showers likely in Miami. And 71 in Chicago, 69 in Boston, 73 in Washington. And some more details on traveling weather in just a few more minutes. Ann?
Great. Thanks, Joe. In horse racing, one of the wildest finishes you'll ever see. Sports is next after this.
They've been called the greatest team in Olympic history. Bird, Jordan, Johnson, Ewing, Barkley, Stockton, Robinson, Pippen, Mullen, and Malone. Olympic basketball may never be the same. But if you think they're tough, wait till you see the guys at the ticket window if you don't have your Visa card. Because once again, the Olympics don't take American Express. Visa, it's everywhere you want to be.
This summer, millions of kids will be looking for one thing, fun. They'll find it at Holiday Inn hotels. We've got pools, restaurants, lots of fun. And at Holiday Inn, kids don't just stay free. Kids 12 and under eat free at participating hotels. So start packing. Call 1-800-HOLIDAY or your travel agent. Holiday Inn, the official hotel for family fun.
Right now, when you buy selected high-quality Arco Air air conditioners, heat pumps, and furnaces, you'll receive a cashback rebate of up to $200 per unit. These energy-efficient units could help you save on utility bills for years to come. So act now and get warm winters, cool summers, and cold cash.
Airmaster Heating and Air Conditioning, Berkeley, 399-1800. Tempest Heating and Cooling, Mount Clemens, Rochester, 468-9500 or 1-800-ARCO-AIR.
Sold. Let's say you bought a painting. Let's say Van Gogh's sunflowers. Let's say you used the Discover card. You'd have a little money coming back. Because with the Discover card, every single charge earns an annual cashback bonus.
Nice.
It pays to Discover, the card that pays you back.
In sports, another accolade for Air Jordan. On the eve of the Eastern Conference Finals, Michael Jordan was named the NBA's most valuable player for the 3rd time. Jordan won his 6th straight NBA scoring title and led the Bulls to the best record in their history.
This kind of caps off a very maturing season for me, and certainly a very educating season. And I can only continue to move on in a very positive direction.
In other basketball news, Randy Funn has been named new coach of the LA Lakers, replacing Mike Dunleavy. In the Stanley Cup semifinals, Chicago rallied past Edmonton 4-2, giving the Blackhawks a 2-0 lead. Mark McGuire continues his long ball assault. Last night he blasted his 17th homer of the year, powering Oakland past Baltimore 8-4. Minnesota handed Toronto its 4th straight loss. The Yankees clobbered California. Kansas City whipped the White Sox. Boston beat Seattle. Milwaukee defeated Detroit, and Texas took Cleveland. San Diego's Bruce Hurst gave up only 1 hit in a 3-0 victory over the Mets. It was the 5th straight win for the Padres. 4 Cub pitchers combined to shut out the Dodgers. Cincinnati stopped Montreal. Atlanta cooled off St. Louis, and Houston flipped Philly. And here's something you don't see very often, a riderless horse crossing the finish line first. It happened at New York's Belmont Park after Trans Banner threw his jockey coming out of the starting gate. Unfortunately for those who bet on Trans Banner, the victory was disallowed. And Wimp Sanderson has quit as Alabama basketball coach following charges he struck his secretary in the face. Organizers of the Summer Olympics in Barcelona have come up with a new way of lighting the Olympic torch during the opening ceremonies of the Games. They say the torch will be lit by an archer firing a flaming arrow. You better not miss. The news continues in just a moment. You're watching NBC News at sunrise.
This week, Today takes you behind the scenes of Johnny's Farewell Week. Plus, Sigourney Weaver and Tom Cruise with Bryant Gumbel and Katie Couric this week on Today.
Right now, when you buy selected high-quality ArcoAir air conditioners, heat pumps, and furnaces, you'll receive a cashback rebate of up to $200 per unit. These energy-efficient units could help you save on utility bills for years to come. So act now and get warm winters, cool summers, and cold cash.
Reliable Mechanical Troy, 585-5520. Downriver Comfort Sales, Wyandotte, 281-7204 or 1-800-ARCO-AIR.
The newspaper with the nearly naked news on the next Maury.
Here's some of the stories we're following this Tuesday morning on NBC News at sunrise. An English lawyer calls for the prosecution of 2 American pilots in the Gulf War deaths of 9 British soldiers. House investigators prepared to probe U.S. ties to Iraq before the war broke out. The AIDS epidemic has had its greatest impact in America's cities, but the number of victims in rural areas is growing. 2 nurses are making a difference in their fight against the disease in rural America. Science correspondent Robert Bazell takes another look.
Does it right after across railroad tracks or before?
The back roads of rural South Carolina might not be where most people imagine the front lines of the war against AIDS to be. But Sharon Longshore and Shirley Hollis, both nurses and epidemiologists, drive 1,000 to 2,000 miles a month on these roads in their efforts to fight the epidemic.
One of the problems in the small towns is that most people still feel that this is a disease of big cities. They have yet to be 100% convinced that it does happen in rural America.
But Sharon and Shirley have more and more people with AIDS to look after, like 30-year-old Rich.
I've been so close to suicide so many times, and it seemed like a tiny voice came to my heart and said, call these 2. You know that if nobody else can listen to you, these 2 will.
How are you today?
Listening is a big part of Sharon and Shirley's job. Mary has AIDS, and her daughter recently died of the disease in her 20s.
I picked her up and I just hugged her, and I hugged her real tight. And I just hugged her till my arms got kind of like tight. And the little tears came down. I don't know, she had to be aware of it. This was the last time I got to touch her.
When you have disease...
The 2 nurses also do a lot of talking. On this evening, they are visiting a migrant farm workers camp.
Little white things.
The HIV infection rate among such migrants is frighteningly high. The women pass out bags of condoms, give the men some straight talk.